Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com and welcome to this video which is called Believe You Have Received and You Will. It is as simple as that. We make it complicated. So we always want to hear more techniques, more videos, more understandings, more teachings. I get it, and it's to some degree understandable because we really want to know how this law works and how manifesting works. And then it is important to always come back to the basics, to the foundations. And this statement right here is one of the most simplest, most clearest, most straight to the point, like guidelines and statements on how to actually manifest. And that is, believe that you have already received it, that it is already yours and you will. But of course, that's not always seemingly easy, because how can you just believe it? How can you just be in the state of the wish fulfilled if your circumstances seemingly very overwhelmingly show you that it is not there yet? Okay, so that is what I want to go over in this video, is how can you believe that you have already received it and therefore get the manifestation as a result of that inner shift. So this is the quote from Neville Goddard. I want to explain it, and I want to go through all the parts, what it means, and then we want to make this really practical. So whatsoever you desire, it's not saying, okay, for a car and apartment it works, but for this desire and that desire it might be more challenging. You might need a secret strategy way that has not been shared out there. That's not true. Such a thing does not exist. Okay? So whatever your desire is, if you can desire it, if you can imagine it, that means it already exists. Otherwise you could not have a desire for a thing that is not already in existence and not already possible. And that would be simply self-torture. So let's come back to it. Right? Whatsoever you desire, believe you have received it, but be internally in the state of the wish fulfilled, internally align yourself to already have it and to already be it, and then you will, and then the world will mirror it back to you. That's how easily you apply it. That's how easily you apply the law of assumption, is what Neville said. For an assumption, right, meaning you believing that you have received it, you assuming that, you shifting into that, you imagining that. I will explain you how to do it. Though false and currently denied by your senses, though your world currently tells you that it's not there yet, if you persist in believing that you have received it, if you persist in that end state, it will harden into fact. So that's a mantra also that you can keep in your mind, meaning whenever you are not sure on how to manifest and to seek 10 other videos, you open 10 new tabs with new videos and new explanations. Remember, believe you have received and you will. This statement is summarizing manifesting. So the first part is believe you have received it. And we will talk later on how to do that. But basically, we want to understand that our awareness, I am, our true self, we can, everything, every possible state, everything that you desire is right now, right here, available. And Neville also said it's not even nearer than your own breathing. Because any distance would imply any separation, but any state is right now within you. Right now, right here. I am it right now. I am right now, right here. You can adopt the viewpoint, the attitude, the wish-fulfilled state. But of course, that's not just easy by saying so. Of course, we can apply something very practical to really anchor us in knowing that it is done, to really start to believe that we have already received it, right? And the second part is simply you will, right? Believe you have received it. So therefore, we need to do an inner shift. Be it here and now. I will explain you how to do that. And then the second part is, and you will. So you will then get the manifestation. See the shift in time, right? First, you need to be it right now, right here. Believe you have received it already. It is yours right now, right here. And then you will. The manifestation will come as a consequence. It will become secondary. First, it needs to happen within. Right, so the manifestation is the consequence of the wish fulfilled, of the inner shift, of you aligning yourself with the end state that you want to be in, where you have what you want to have, where you are who you want to be. Now, what can we learn from this? What's the learning? What can we understand from this? If you believe that you already have achieved your desire, the mirror of life will confirm that. Again, if you believe, if you know, if you are natural about it, if that is certain to you, that you already achieved your desire, meaning if you dwell within in the wish-fulfilled state, you therefore no longer wait and hope and seek and look. If it's already done for you, then the mirror of life will confirm that. Meaning you will see the manifestations that will basically start to enter your life. But now the question is, how can you believe that you have received? right? How can you gain this deeper wisdom that your desired state, your desired version of you, the desired outcomes you want, that they already exist within creation, because creation is finished, that you can tune into that? How can you start to develop this trust, this faith, this knowing? In my opinion, not by just thinking of it and affirming it and being in your mind. When you say, oh yeah, I am this, but your senses tell you the complete opposite. So then you feel delusional and resistance comes up and you can't believe it. Would you imaginatively experience it again and again and again? Like a physical experience. If you have a physical experience long enough, you're convinced of it. Like your name. You hear your name so often, even without me saying your name right now, you know what your name is, but it is unseen. It's an unseen fact, but you're convinced that this is your name, even no one can see it. Slightly the same for imagining a new state, imagining your desired outcome. When you imagine them long enough to the point of conviction, self-persuasion, belief, knowingness, certainty, the world could tell you all the opposite. The world could tell you you're not it, but you know you are already it because you know it from experience and not from thinking of it. You know it because you dwelled in that state so long enough that it is now very certain and stable and natural for you. So via your imagination, which again is not only visualizing, the term imagination gets misused oftentimes. Imagining means becoming aware of something that is currently not there, of something that is outside of your senses. So you can hear things, you can see things, you can touch things, you can use any sense, but it's simply you getting the awareness of something that is not manifested, that is not tangible yet, but that still does exist. You feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You asking yourself, how would I view the world as the version that has the goal, that has the desire already in my life? That's imagination, right? It's not just you sitting down for 10 minutes and visualizing. You always imagine, right? Right now you listen to this video, and then maybe after this video you imagine for 3 seconds that you go to the grocery store, then you pack your bags and you start walking, you start driving there. So first it was imagined, then it happened. Imagination always comes first. So you're always tuning into your next outcome. But now you want to tune consciously into your desired already existing outcome. And I do have a powerful video called How to Believe in Your Desire Against All Odds. I will link this one above right now, where I go into more detail on how to apply that, what is important. I will give you more explanations. That you can just watch that additionally. This video is also complete in and of itself, but just if you want to see how to really, how you can start to believe seemingly against all odds, even if the circumstances seem the opposite, then this video can be helpful. But the solution is still via the power of your awareness, via the power of becoming aware of something that is currently outside of your senses and not seen to the world, the unseen reality, right? Your imaginative world where the desire already does exist. We want to tune into that, make that natural, and dwell in it long enough until we are convinced. And then this belief, this conviction, this certainty will grow that we have already received it. Because I heard the congratulation long enough and again and again and again, and then I developed this subtle inner conviction that it is already done. And then because I am in that state, my world will confirm it to me. So the third part is an assumption, though false and denied by your senses, if persistent, will harden into fact. Right? Meaning, it is okay. It's nothing bad. It's nothing to be feared of if right now your desire is denied by your senses. If you see the seemingly opposite. I also have a video on this. Help, I see the opposite. What should I do? I will link this one above right now too. But even if that is the case right now, that this assumption seems false, it seems unnatural, that's okay. But by you dwelling long enough and consciously going back into that new assumption, that new state, that new identity, now you know that you have what you want to have. This is first denied by your senses, but if you persist in it, it will also harden into fact. It will be manifested, right? And there is also this quote, this is, if I'm not wrong, I think this is from the Bible, where it's basically saying, and now let the weak man say, I am strong. But how should the weak man have any reason to say, I'm strong? He is weak. He's physically right now weak. But there is no reason. So there is no reason to believe it rationally that I'm strong. If there's someone that is weak and they say, I'm strong, someone that is lonely that says, I'm happily partnered. If you had a relationship difficulty and now you want to be back in the relationship, you have no reason to believe that rationally because your mind is connected to the senses and it sees it is obviously not there yet. So don't fight the mind. Don't do that, right? Make use of the ability that is given to you. Make use of this godly and higher power that is given to you, which is to imagine yourself out of a circumstance, which is to imagine the opposite, which is to imagine what you want. And again, imagination is simply a word. Imagination is a word, but what does imagination mean? It means to become aware of something, to tune into something, a potential already existing state, potential already existing reality, where you are who you want to be, where you have what you want to have. That's the power you possess. If you don't make use of that and remain in a weak state, in a lonely state, in an ill state, in a poverty state, nothing will change. You won't develop that certainty that you are now strong, that you are now financially abundant. Whereas if you make that shift via your imagination by tuning into scenes and imaginal acts that imply that you now have achieved it, that is now yours, the more you dwell in this new reality, the more you dwell in this new state, the more convinced will you be of it. And then you will actually start to believe that you have already received, because you dwelled, your awareness shifted into that so often that it's now natural for you. So, for example, via an imaginative act that implies that I am now strong, that I am now what I want to be, that I am now who I want to be, I internally identify myself with that state, and it will become natural. And since the world is a confirming mirror, I will then see what I've done within myself. Right? First, I give it myself, and then the world is giving it to me as a confirmation. First, I am it within, then I will see the manifestation, the consequence of my inner shift. As within, so without. First, it's a subjective knowing, which is then expressed in your world. And there is a key sentence that I now want to share with you as a conclusion of this, which is that which now, in this present moment, remember, the only moment that you have is right now, right here. And if you're not sure on how to invest your time the best way, I also did a powerful video called How to Invest Your Time the Best Way When Manifesting. You can check this out above. So that what you now, right now, right here, claim yourself to be, the state that you now have a life within yourself, that is what tomorrow, what we call the future. Tomorrow doesn't mean literally tomorrow, but what is happening next in your world, you will encounter in your life. While in that which today you experience in your world is what you yesterday, in the seemingly past, identified with. Okay? So you see, the only important moment is right now. You need to right now be in the state of having, be in the state of being who you want to be. Be it for the sake of being it, not for the sake of getting something. Imagine there would be no circumstances. And I had a client of mine that really got angry. They said, yeah, but if the 3D wouldn't matter, then we would all just live in a cave, something like that. I never said that the 3D doesn't matter. I never said that you should ignore the 3D. No, go openly in the 3D. It's a window where you can see what you have alive within yourself. And if everything is as you want it to be, then enjoy your life. Right? Enjoy it. That's perfect. But if there are triggers, if the 3D world is shouting at you and you see that you have desires because the 3D is currently not as you want it to be, then you need to internally align yourself. But the 3D can only confirm. It can't cause something. Right? The wish fulfilled is not happening when the manifestation is happening. That's not the wish fulfilled. That's simply the confirmation, the echo, the result of the wish fulfilled that happened internally. And we now know that because we now understood that statement. We believe that we have received. We shifted internally into the wish fulfilled state. We imagined what it would be like, what someone said to us. You maybe watched the video that I linked. Right, and you apply all the other things that I share on my channel. You apply the law of assumption. Then you made this inner movement into the state of the wish fulfilled, and then you dwell in there, and then that's what your world will give you back. You will get back where you stand within, as within, so without. That's why on the thumbnail, if we look at that again, I said that this statement for me summarizes manifesting, as within, so without. If you believe internally that you have it, that you are, it's natural for you, it's certain to you, you dwell internally in that state, and then your outside world, as a confirmation, will just confirm that back to you again and again and again until you leave that state again, right? So that which now you claim yourself to be is what we call future, you will encounter in your life. So be aware of where you dwell within right now. Are you desiring right now? Are you being triggered right now? I also made a video on what to do when the world triggers you. We'll also link this above right now. When that happens, notice it, become aware of it, and ask yourself, who would I be? What would need to be the case so that I no longer am triggered, that I no longer do desire, that I no longer stay in the energy, in the state of lack and need and hope and wait and desire? Of course, it would be when you are in the wish fulfilled. So go there within. You don't need to wait for the manifestation to feel the wish fulfilled. Internally align yourself to the wish fulfilled, and then let the manifestation come as a byproduct, as a result, as a mirror, as a confirmation. Because, like I said here, believe you have received, internally shift into the end state, and then the manifestation will happen as a consequence, right? If you have any questions on that, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I like to read your comments or questions. I try to answer some of them. If you need any help, then the first thing that I would recommend you, next to watching the videos on the channel that resonate with you, is to check out the free masterclass. That's the first link in the video description, where I'm explaining how to shift into the version of yourself that has full faith, that has trust, that knows how to apply these principles, and that gets his or her manifestations. So it's at the same time my email newsletters. So if you want to be notified when I upload new videos, when there are any news, any special stuff is happening and going on, then just put your email and your name into this newsletter and watch the free masterclass. And also, if you want to work with me, if you say, okay, that makes sense, like I do resonate with this, Neville's teachings make sense to me, I just want to go a notch deeper, really speak with you on a consistent basis and have coaching, have accountability, have a guideline, have a red line through everything, like a system, and be in a safe environment where you can express your doubts, your worries, your problems, and you just want me to help you, then feel free to schedule a free call with me so that we can find out if we are a good fit. That's the second link in the video description, pinned comments. You're always welcome, and then we can just see if we want to do this journey together. All right? So that's it for this video. It was very important for me to put this out there, and it can be as simple as that. If you live by this statement, like Neville said, that's how easily you apply it. That's how easily you apply the law. Believe you have received and you will. Like if I would need to tell someone how does conscious manifesting work, believe you have received it and you will. But that's the statement. Now we of course have to know how to operate it, which I also tried to explain and give you some impulses on in this video, and of course also in the video that I linked, and which I'm going to do continuously and did already in the past on my channel. This is what it is about, right? This inner shift, this inner alignment to the state where we are who we want to be, where we have what we want to have, which already does exist, but it can only be activated and manifested if we enter it internally and realign us to that. All right? So that's it. Speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.